Test mic. Yo, sound check. Hello, guys, and welcome again to this edition of Learning with Rich. So, in this topic, we are going to talk about again, this is for the Revit MEP Certified Professional Examination Preparation. Okay, so let's continue our discussion, and we are going to talk about work sets. Okay, so which is again part of your examination. So, we are going to talk about uh, work sharing, okay, because work set it enables you to make your project a work shared environment. Okay, so use the work sharing to allow the multiple users to work on different parts of one Revit project. So work sharing allows simultaneous access to a shared model through use of a central model. So I'm going to teach you also how to create the central model. So use the work sharing when you are working with a single model, so meaning one Revit file that will have multiple team members working on it. So let's say, for example, when you are working with the team members from other disciplines such as structural engineers, mechanical engineers, architects, and so on and so forth. And you can also use the work sharing in link models. So I'm going to show that to you also. So to start with, so let's say for example, so you are going to start your Revit MEP project. So we're going to do it from the scratch. Okay, so let's say this is the Revit MEP project. So it's actually a blank project. You can also use your in you can also use your uh, systems template when you create the family, and you'll be able to see this the same project browser also. So this is a blank project. Then after that, you need to have the architect's model, right? Because that is where you are going to base your design. So we need to link first. Okay, I have discussed that linking last time, so I'm not going to discuss it again. So I'm just going to show you the process. This is that's a link CAD, so I'm going to use link Revit. So this is the model I'm going to link. Again, I'm going to use auto origin to origin and then open. Okay, so now I'm linking the, let's say this is the architect's model that was given to me. Okay, next. So the next thing that I'm going to do is, again, I need to check the levels. So I'm going to go to the South Mech. So I need to check here the levels. So as I notice, my architectural model, which is this one, it has 4 levels, while my Revit MEP project, I only have 2 levels. So I need to have also 4 levels. Okay. So first, I need to make my Revit MEP level, like for example, level 2 the same as Revit architecture link model. Okay, so I'm just going to change this to 3800. Okay, and then if I want to have roof and level 3 also, so I need to go to collaborate, copy monitor, select link. I'm going to select the link model, and I'm going to copy multiple, and then I'm going to select roof and level 3, then finish. Okay, and then after that, modify, then finish it. So now that I have the copy of the roof and level 3, I'm now going to align that to my Revit MEP levels. And again, the reason why the color here is blue, it's because there is no view plan or floor plan view yet for level 3 and roof. As you can see, there is no level 3 and roof here. That's why you will notice the color of this one by default is black. Okay, so once I created the floor plan for the level 3 and roof, you will notice later on it will becomes blue. Okay, by the way, another part of the examination is that uh, one question there will ask you to create a floor plan. Okay, it will ask you to create a floor plan. So now I'm going to show you how to create a floor plan. So let's say I want to create level 3 or roof. Okay, I want that to be added here on the project browser. So to do that, you just need to go to the View tab and Plan Views. So I can select here the floor plan. All right, so just click the floor plan, and then as you can see, these are the two levels that doesn't have the floor plan. So I'm just going to select both, and then I just select here OK. There you go. So by default, it went under the mechanical HVAC discipline here. So I'm just going to rename this one. So let's say this is 3-mech. Okay, so would you like to rename corresponding level and views? So no need. I don't want to change the name of the levels, but I do want to change the view here, the name of the view. So I'm just going to select no here. Right, same with this one. This is roof-mech. Again, no. Right. Now, in case you want to create another floor plan for level 3 and roof for the lighting, for the power, and for the plumbing, same procedure. You just need to go to the view, plan views, floor plan. Okay, and then you need to uncheck this one so that it will allow you to duplicate the existing view. So you can, and then you will now see here the levels wherein you can use to create your floor plan view. So I'm going to select both again. And let's say this level 10 roof, I want to be placed under the power. So before I select OK, I'm going to select your edit type. And then I'm going to change here the view template because by default, the view template is mechanical plan. So I'm going to change that to electrical plan and then OK. There you go. And then OK. And then OK. So it's now here, right? So again, let's rename this one. So this is how you set up your project from scratch. Okay, so you need to make sure that the project browser, the levels are properly created. There you go. Okay, so I want also for the lighting. So another way, aside from going to the plan views, another way to create your floor plan is you can duplicate. You can actually duplicate. So right click, duplicate. So let's say I'll just select duplicate with detailing and the roof also. Right click, duplicate with detailing. Right? So let's rename this. Okay, this is for my lighting. Okay, so this is for my lighting as well. So lighting, there you go. All right, so the next thing that we need to do, we want to place it under the lighting here. So you can select both, the lighting, and then you can go to the properties. You can see the discipline is already electrical, but the sub-discipline is power. So you can click the drop-down arrow here, and then you can select lighting and then apply. That's it, you see, right? So same with plumbing. So let me go to the plan view. Let me try again this one. Floor plan, uncheck this one, and then select level 3 and roof. Then OK. Oops. Before I select OK, I go to edit type. Change the view template to plumbing. Okay, so it's already set up. So as you can see on the plumbing template, on the view properties, you can see that the discipline is already mechanical, subdiscipline is plumbing. All right. I'll just select here OK. There you go, plumbing, and then OK, and then OK. There you have it. So make let's make this tree plumbing and roof plumbing. So we need to tidy up your project browser. Rename roof and plumbing. All right. So let's say, for example, you already set up the project browser, you already set up the levels, you already linked the architectural model. So this time around, so let's say, for example, you want this project to uh, to be shared across the team members. So you have one Revit project, and then you want multiple team members working on it. So this is now where we are going to activate the work sharing, okay, or the work sets. So let me just save this first. So let me just save as. I do not want to override the original file. So let me create here a new folder that I'm going to delete later on. Okay, practice folder. All right, I only need one backup. Okay, so this is now the model. Let's say uh, project project work sharing. Okay, so it's up to you what's the name of the file that you want. So this is now the project. I already saved it. Now the next thing that you need to do in order for you to activate the work sets, okay, so you, since it has something to do with collaboration, okay, so you need to go to the collaborate. Okay, collaborate. So by the way, just a little bit background about the work set. A work set is actually a collection of elements in a work shared project. So you can create work sets based on the functional areas such as like architecture and structural engineering. So you can create a work set for interior, exterior, and site. And let's say, for example, for systems, so you can also create work sets for HVAC, electrical, or plumbing, or piping, or fire protection. Okay, you can think of layers in AutoCAD. Okay, so in AutoCAD, so you need to properly create your drawing, right? So you create layers. So it's a little bit the same as layers also when you are working on the workset. Anyway, when you make a workset editable in Revit, so you are taking exclusive ownership of all objects in it. Okay, so I'm going to show you that later on. But first, let us activate the work set. So from the collaborate, so you need to click the collaborate here. Click that one. All right, and then you have here two options. So you have two options to collaborate within your network, which is obviously this is what we are going to do. And then there is another option there if you are on subscription. So you can use the BIM 360 team. So collaborate with open permission among team members. The model will be cloud work shared. Okay, the model will be saved at the cloud. So this is very useful if you are working on with other team members that is located uh, somewhere within the country or even out of the country. So you can still work on one project using the BIM 360 team, even if they are not on the same office as you. But since we are just working on the network within our team members in our office, so usually we use there within your network. So okay. I'll just use this one, click, and then okay. And then that's the time you will now notice the work sets will now be enabled. So the next thing that you need to do is you need to click, let's say for example, I am the BIM manager. So I need to create now the work sets that my team members needed. Okay, so I'm going to select work sets. Okay, so by default, I have here two work sets, shared levels and grids, and workset number one. So we can actually rename these worksets here. Later on, we're going to rename that. So, but let me create here, say for example, for piping. Okay, so I want to create HVAC. So I want to create lighting, lighting, power, whatever workset that you want. What else? Sanitary. Sanitary, what else? Plumbing. If you have an architectural link model, so it would be better also to create a workset for your link model. So since I have an architectural model link in my MEP project, so I'm going to create again another work set for architectural. So if you have structural link model, so you can also create that. All right. So this is now, let's say these are all the, let me add fire protection. Fire protection. Okay, so it's up to you how many worksets that you want to create. Again, you can think of layers. So you can think a lot of layers wherein you're going to put all the drawings or models that you are going to work on. Okay, right. The worksets dialog box. So you have here active workset. Active workset is workset 1 by default. Okay, so active workset is like a current layer in AutoCAD. So if your active workset, let's say for example, my active workset is HVAC. So all the elements that I will be creating will be placed under the workset HVAC. Okay, regardless of what element is that. Okay, even if that one is lighting fixtures, walls, roof, or any other 3D model elements, okay, it will be placed under the active work set, which is, let's say, HVAC. So make sure, okay, make sure that before you create your elements, before you start your design, make sure the active work set is correct. All right, and you can also make the inactive work sets gray. Okay, so meaning those worksets that you are not using or inactive, those elements under those worksets will becomes gray. So it's up to you if you want to check that or uncheck it. Okay. So let me just rename the workset one. What's this? Let's say this is mm, structural. I don't have structural yet. Okay. So structural workset. Right. So I'm going to make this finish. So as you can see, I am also the owner of these work sets. So any elements that I'll be creating under these following work sets will be editable by me. Okay. So I'm taking exclusive ownership of all the objects in it. So you will not be able to modify it. Okay. If you are working on the same team. But we are going to give a solution for that. Okay. So it is not uh, uh, a good thing for you to have an ownership on the work set because it will takes a lot of time or spend a lot of time just giving them the ownership or allowing them to modify your elements. It will take a lot of time, so it is not good thing to have this one. Okay, so you always need to relinquish the ownership of your work set. Okay, well, it depends on the project, but most of the project that I've been working on before, we do not put an ownership on the work set. Okay, so that all team members will be able to use that work set that you have created. But it is case by case. So if you really don't want your elements to be modified by other team members, then you can own the work set. Okay, but in most projects that I have worked on, it is not the case. So, all right. So that's why most of the time we always relinquish the ownership of the work set. Anyway, I'll be showing that to you also. Okay. Again, it is not advisable to own a work set, except that if you really want that particular elements not to be modified by anyone else. Okay. All right. So anyway, so I'll just going to select here. Okay. There you go. So the next thing that you need to do is, as a B manager, after you create the work set, is you need to, uh, again, let us save this first. Okay. So you will now see this one, save as central model. So this is the first time that the project has been saved since work sharing was enabled. So once you save this project, after you enable the work sharing first time, automatically this project will become central project. Okay. Always remember that the first time you save, after you activate the work set, that particular project file will becomes the central model. Okay, so I'm just going to select yes because I want this file to be the central model. So I'm going to select here OK. Right, so this is now this will becomes your central model. Okay, so now the next thing that you need to do is after you save your project as a central file is this one. You go to synchronize with central, synchronize and modify settings. So it allows you to specify options for synchronization operation. Okay, so let's select this one. And this is the one that I'm talking about. All right. So I need to check this one so that it will be relinquished. Okay. All the user created worksets, all the worksets that I have created a while ago, it will be relinquished. The ownership will be relinquished so that my other team members will be able to use that particular worksets. Okay, you also do this. So let's say, for example, you want to synchronize your model to the central. Any option here, if you notice, if they are, you'll be able to check it. If the checkbox there is enabled, make sure you check it. Like for example, if the borrowed elements is enabled, make sure you check that so that it will be relinquished. So let's say the view worksets here is enabled. Make sure you check that, okay? So that it will be relinquished. Same with user created worksets. We do not want to own a workset, okay? So I don't advise that one. Okay, so just make sure every time you synchronize your model to the central, if there are options here that is enabled, you just check it so that it will be relinquished. All right, so you always remember that. So once I check this one and then select your OK, and if I go back to the work sets, you will now notice here that no more owner here. Okay, so meaning to say my other team members or the rest of the team members will now be able to use here the work sets. Okay, they can now use the work set here. Right, so let's say that's it for the central model. So that's how you enable the work set. So that's how you enable the work sharing in your project. Okay, so the next thing that you need to do is you need to close this. Okay, so I'm going to close the central model. So this is how you create the central model. Okay, so the next one is I'm going to teach you how to create a local copy. Local copy, this is the copy of the central file that is saved on your machine. Okay, the central file, we save that to the server, right? So we save that to the server. And now, if you are the user, let's say I am the one that will be doing the HVAC or the piping. So I do not want to work directly on the central model. So again, it is not advisable to work directly on the central model. You need to create a local copy. Okay, so how to create a local copy as a user? Okay, so I'm going to close this one. So now I'm going to create a local copy. So let's say I am the one that will be doing the piping. So I'm going to select here, open. And then this is the central file, right? This is the central file. So there is an option here, create new local. So by default, create new local is already checked. Why? Because okay, it will prevent us, because if this is checked, I uncheck, so we will be opening the central file. So for us to be able to prevent opening the central file directly, by default, create new local is already ticked. So that every time you click the central file and then open, it will automatically create the local copy. So make sure create new local here is checked before you open the file, okay? So that you do not open the central file. We just want to create a new local copy. All right, so you just need to select your open. There you go. All right, so I am now the user that will be doing the piping. So I can change here the active work set. I can select here Don't worry about that not editable thing. So don't worry. So let's say I'll be doing the plumbing. So I select your plumbing so that that will be the active work set. Again, you can also change your active work set by going to the collaborate and then you can change from here, right? Okay. By the way, we haven't put yet our architectural model to the right work set. So we need to place it under the architectural work set, right? So you can click that, click, and then we change here the work set. So as you can see by default, it's placed at structural. So we change that to architectural. There you go. Right. Okay. So this is now architectural work set. So my current work set now is plumbing. So any elements that I will be creating from now on, it will be placed under the plumbing work set. Okay. So let me open my one dash plumbing. Okay. So let's say I'll be putting here some elements like plumbing fixtures. This one. So let's say I'll use the closet. All right, so there you go. All right, so I'll just place one here, place one here. All right, so something like that. Okay, so all the elements that I will be creating from now on, they will be placed under the, okay, they will be placed under the plumbing work sets. Okay, right. Okay, so let me just mirror this to the other side. All right, so as you can see, if I click this, it's now on the work set plumbing. Okay, and then if I want this to be synchronized to my central model, just like what I have shown you a while ago, you need to go to the collaborate and synchronize with central, synchronize and modify settings. Okay, so again, make sure the options here that is enabled, make sure you check it. Okay, so if user created work set is enabled, make sure you check it. Okay, then I just save it. So what will happen is it will save this local file to my drive, and then it will synchronize also the changes that I made here to the central file. So it will be updated. So using Workset, it will makes you guys works on one project simultaneously. Okay, all the changes that you are making on the project, it will be seen by other team members also once they synchronize their model. Okay, which is fantastic, right? So you'll be able to work as a one team in one project, in one big project using the work sharing. Okay, so basically this is how you do it. By the way, when you create a local copy, it will put there also the name of your computer name. Okay, the name of your computer name. Right now, so let me open now here a sample project, sample file. Let me open the advanced sample project. Okay, so just remember that's how you set up your work set. So let's say, for example, you already have the project and suddenly you realize that you want this project to be work shared environment. Okay, you want this project to be work shared environment. So what you can do is, of course, you can activate the work sharing, because in the first exercise that I have shown you, we don't have project there yet. So what we did there on my last exercise is we set up the project, start from scratch, from linking the architectural model, from setting up the levels, from setting up the project browser, and then after that we activate the work set. Now in this exercise, the project is already there. And then suddenly you realize that, oh, the project is very big. I want other team members to work with this one also. I want their help. You suddenly realize that, oh, it's quite big. So what you can do, of course, is you can enable the work sharing also. Okay. So even if you already started the work, in the middle of your work, you realize that you want help, you want other team members to work on the project that you are working on, okay, that is completely fine. You can still activate there the work sharing. Okay, so let me just go to collaborate, same procedure, and then just select collaborate. Let us save first the model, and then after that, oops, let us save as this one. Save as project. Let me just create a new folder here, and then I'll be deleting this. Delete later. Okay, test. Test project. All right. Oh, okay. So I think I need to save this on another folder, a different folder. Delete, delete. All right, this one. And save it. Okay, then after that, what we can do now is to activate the collaborate. So you click collaborate within the network and then OK. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to go to Worksets, and then from here on you can now create your workset. So like for example, I want the workset for my ducting, piping, what else, electrical, or whatever worksets that you want. Okay, then select OK. Yes. And then after that, you can now apply those worksets to these elements. Like, for example, for the ducting, you can click that duct, select our instances, entire project. Then you can put that to the correct workset. So you can pick from here, and then ducting, and then OK. There you go. Okay. So select entire project. Then you can put that to the correct workset. So that is what you do. Okay, so that is what you do. So after you create all the elements, so you need to put those elements on the correct workset, right? So after you put those elements to the correct workset, so the next thing that you need to do is, of course, you need to save again the project to create the central file. Okay, so let's just wait for a while. It's logging. Okay, so let's say for example, you already apply the work sets to all of the elements here. So you can now save the file to make it as a central file. Okay, and then the next thing that you need to do is you need to synchronize again with central. Synchronize and modify settings. Make sure this is checked, and then okay. So that's it. You just created again a central file. Okay, so from now on, you can now already tell to your team members that they are now able to, they will now be able to create the local copy of the central file, just like what I have shown you a while ago. So how to create a local copy? Okay, you just need to close the central file, and then you just close the central file. Okay, then you open, this is the central file. Just make sure the create new local is checked. Just open that. So you will now be able to create the local copy. Okay, again, this is now the local copy. Okay, and another option that you can find, or another question that will be asked on the during the examination day is that you need to use this one, the work sharing display here. Okay, so there is this one question in the examination wherein it will ask you to uh, use the work sharing display. So you just need to click that. So let's say you want to view these elements based on work set. So you can select your work sets. Okay, so it will become colorized. Okay, so these colors are based on the work set. So if you want to know what is these colors for, so you can click this and then you can select here work sharing display settings. So as you can see, my ducting colors this one. So if I change this one, let's say color green, then okay, then okay. So you will notice it becomes green. All the elements that is under the workset ducting will becomes color green. Okay, so that's how you use this one. So you can explore this because it's part of the examination. Okay, so again, this is how you use the work sets. This is how you apply it. Okay, so definitely this will be asked again on the examination. Okay, so that's it for this topic. So hopefully you learned something from this video. If you have any questions, suggestions, or comments, you just put it on the comment section below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Once again, thank you for watching and have a nice day.